Okay guys, I am back. So I went ahead and I sketched my snowman on my board because this one here that I did was a little bit too big for this board. So I just sketched mine out on my board with a pencil. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Okay, so, but what I was telling you before, if you don't have carbon paper to trace your pattern onto your board, what you can do is this little trick. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you take a piece of chalk and you run over on the back side, so flip your pattern over, put your pattern down, and take your piece of chalk flat like this, and just run it over your drawing on the other side. Do that like that, and then I did these holly leaves earlier, but I'll do it again so you could see it. So I'm just going to put it down like this on my board or wherever it is that you're going to put your pattern, and take something, I'm using my stylus, but just take something, trace over it on the flip side there. And just trace over your pattern, and then you'll have your pattern right there. Isn't that cool? So like I said, if you don't have that carbon paper, you can use chalk and put it on your board. So I don't need that there, so I am just going to rub that right off. And that's the other good thing about it, is once you paint it, if there's something left on it that you can see, you can still see the chalk, just rub it right off and it'll come right off. But that's what you can do if you do not have the carbon paper, okay? So I went ahead and did my snowman already on here. So I am going to, since I already have some white poured out, I'm going to go ahead and do my snowman head and his body. Alrighty. And this is a very easy snowman to paint. So I am just painting my face or my head. And you can paint this on really anything you want. And then I'm going to do my body. So a lot of times when I'm painting stuff like this, I will paint the whole thing white, or and not do the scarf, trace out the scarf or anything. But because this one is pretty simple as far as very defined lines, I thought, well, you know what, I'm just gonna paint the white where it needs to be and not have to come back and paint over the white. So if that makes sense. My doggie keeps barking at every noise she hears. All right. Here's my ducks outside. All right, so we're going to let that dry. And then we're going to get our black. And I did pour my black into this spice jar. because I had a huge thing of black like this one here, and I need to do that with that white, but I had done it with this black before to make it easier to carry around and not have to bring that big bottle everywhere. Okay, so now I'm getting my black for my hat. And you can do this in whatever order you want. If you want to do your hat first, do your hat first, whatever you want to do. It really does not matter. If you want it to dry before you tackle the next step, you can do that too. Do the top of his hat. All right, there we go. Very simple. He's already looking pretty cute. And then I'm going to do the band and his scarf. And I'm using crimson this time, this type of red. You can use whatever reds. Any of these colors, use whatever shade you want. If you don't want a red scarf, then use a different color, but that's the color that I used. Let me see what I got here. All right. So I'm going to do my scarf. And if you get it on the red, or the red on the white, it's no big deal. Just go back and touch that up. I really like this shade of red, but for some reason, this red is not as thick as my normal acrylic paints are. So I'm going to have to probably do 2 coats of this one. I just want it to be a little bit more red. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to use a smaller brush for that one there. And since I've got my liner brush here handy, I'm going to go ahead and just touch up this right there. I don't like leaving my liner brush. I have a little thing of water right here. I don't like leaving my liner brush in the water. So normally with my liner brush, I usually will rinse it out real quick, and then I clean it off with a paper towel, and then I put it back down. I don't like leaving my liner brush in there. These I don't mind leaving as long because they're not going to bend at the end. Now, I wouldn't recommend leaving them overnight or anything, but normally I'll plop them in the water as I go, but then when I'm done painting, I clean them all. But the liner brush, I will clean and take right back out because I don't want my bristles to bend, okay? So I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I'm going to do this one right here. All right, and I'm going to let these dry, and then we'll come back for the next step.